So, who wants to take a shot at the plot of the movie?
You think you got it?
All right, well, since it's already recording...
Is it recording already?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the red light's on.
Okay,
Usually that means it's recording.
Yeah. Greetings, moviegoers. I'm the host, and welcome back to another Midnight Movie Madness. God, I'm so...
Gonna take that again?
Greetings.
The movie's got a structure and a plot that are such grand, big, new, and different ideas to anything you've ever considered. What this movie had, what's this movie called? Tenet? But this movie had that not any of his other movies lack from. It's consistent with all of his other movies. In his bigger, more blockbuster type films, he's always really opening with a bang. How much of it do you think you understood the first time you watched it? Like what percentage?
I would say 80%.
80%?
Yeah.
I was like 60.
Yeah, you told me 60.
Yeah.
And I'm roughly around 60%.
Yeah.
He
It's
was
like,
getting annoyed, I think.
Really?
Because I kept turning to him like, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. And then, like, you know, it happened like
That's
5
funny.
years later.
I've read that it was a creative choice of Christopher Nolan to mix the sound in a way where the dialogue is nestled in really tightly in with the sound effects and the music, because of the nature of the plot itself is so complex that it is a movie that you watch with feeling and not so much intellectually. You understood 80% of it when you walked out of there.
I couldn't believe
But you
it.
couldn't really explain it, right?
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
I know what I saw, I can't really explain it, but then the second time you see it, it's like, oh wow.
Yeah.
I got it a lot more than I thought I did. Can you imagine him writing it? Like, hold on a second, I gotta get some tabs out and I gotta
Putting tattoos all over himself.
I gotta just like take
Memento.
Polaroids and how does this work and stuff. Characters absolutely suffer in this movie because there's no room really to develop characters in this movie.
Yeah.
There's so many new ideas that you have to kind of wrap your brain around, but before you can, he's like, we're going. It's like the briefcase in Pulp Fiction. You're kind of gestating what's in there and what's
Right.
that about and how does that play into the story, and so
Sure.
it's interaction.
Our brain's like filling it in. It's like Christopher Nolan's handing us like a black and white picture and telling us to color it the way we want to.
Ooh, that's really cool. That's a great way of saying it.
Yeah.
So in very many words, it's exactly what...
Review over. In a day and age where there's constant remakes and
Superhero movies.
adapted screenplays, it's just so cool when you get an original screenplay that like sells you.
It's funny, like, because it's like, it was hard enough for the actors to be like, what is this story about? I can't imagine the studio sitting there and being like, oh, I get it, 100%. They were probably like, this is,
green light.
I don't, this is good, right? This is, you make it, I trust you.
I'm kind of glad that I only understand about 80% of this movie, because if I understood literally everything, then I tried too hard to like overanalyze like what I know.
Yeah.
And that's where it brings in the questions like, oh, this can't happen, so this like sucks. You know?
It's true.
Like,
I mean, it's true.
What'd you guys think of Kenneth Branagh's performance in the movie?
I love him. I even loved him in Wild Wild West. So.
Dude, oh my gosh, Loveless! Loveless! Yes! He knew exactly who he was playing. And according to Kenneth Branagh, he's like, Christopher Nolan came to me and said, I want you to know something about this character. He has no redeeming qualities. And that to him was like, okay, I know exactly who I gotta play now. He was so Russian.
Yeah.
But he's so scary in the movie. Like everything he did, his attitude, you believed everything he said. He was talking to John David Washington, talking about cutting his, stuff off and
Balls
putting it in his throat,
off,
watching him choke. You believed it.
Yeah.
You believed him when he was like in the room with his wife on his boat and he's taking the cufflinks off and putting it on his belt like a madman.
I was like, oh,
I'm like,
Scary.
am I about to hate this movie?
Seriously, a wonderful death scene, a really enigmatic ending.
Kind of shocking, actually.
Yeah, for real. It was pretty like brutal in its simplicity.
I really love Robert Pattinson in this movie.
Yeah, I thought he was great.
It makes me really excited about what he's going to do with Batman.
Sure.
Which we won't see for...
Eventually.
If he can keep his freaking mask on and quit getting COVID, man.
I know, right?
Walking with a cane.
Like, come on,
By the
man.
time this movie comes out.
Man, wouldn't that be funny if, like, you see one frame of the movie, he's all buff, and then the next frame, he's all sickly?
Pale and sickly.
I do love to imagine Robert Pattinson reading the script, and the first line of dialogue in it is like, we live in the Twilight world. He's like, God damn it.
Son of a gun!
Can't
They
get
got me again. The second time I saw it, I was sitting down with my brother and I was like, there's two things that you should know about this movie before it starts. One, the dialogue is mixed in with all the other sound really well, and it's tough to hear what people are saying sometimes. Two, because of that, do not try to pick apart this movie and do not try to understand it on the first watch. Just feel it out. It's funny how watching this movie in feeling, you understand more of it than if you were trying to think through it. The Freeport fight scene was incredible, just visually to watch. Like, and you see behind the scenes stuff, they had to learn how to throw their punches backwards so that they can play it forward. Incredible stuff.
Crazy.
The only part that I didn't care for in that moment was like, why would he be shooting at himself? Because it's cool when you're watching it the first way.
I think
you're like, oh, he's trying to kill
bullets. Or just empty out the gun, not necessarily trying to kill him.
He doesn't want his unknowing self to grab the gun and shoot him.
Y'all are so smart. I didn't even put that together. Didn't even put it together.
This is one way, it's not really working.
Yeah.
Oh, he did do it. Oh my gosh, it was there. It was right in front of my face. Honestly, that's why stuntmen and stunt choreographers,
they need an Oscar.
They really need an Oscar category for those guys, because there are things that happen in this movie that never would have happened without the hard work. I really want to know how they did the building unexploding and exploding in one shot.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason to put that in the movie other than to just blow audiences away.
Before you say anything, how much time do we have on the camera?
Like, where do you see?
Like, is that, did it go on the...
It says 9 minutes.
9 minutes left?
Yeah.
Damn.
I keep touching my mic. I'm hoping I'm not messing up the sound.
I hope I'm not doing the same as well.
No, I think you guys have both been okay.
I'll fix it in post.
We're going to have to talk about how time works in this movie, because I was really confused the first time I watched it.
Yeah.
When they go in, they're literally living weeks reversed, you know, to get to a certain point. Okay, I get that. What does that do about the time that's not inverted? Do they still go forward, or is it whatever? It's kind of hard to lay out like the straightforward structure of this movie. But essentially,
it is difficult.
From A to B, the overall simplification is he's trying to stop a guy from destroying the world through this device that reverses entropy. Is it at the end that he puts a nuclear bomb inside of this thing with the device?
Yes.
To blow it up, and that in and of itself, it would reverse the entropy of the device and the world?
Of course!
Which makes no sense why the people in the future would send that back thinking like, no, we can do this and get away with it, that everyone in the past will have done nothing and the world that we have today would have been bright and beautiful, because the overall message of the movie towards the end for the villain was to stop the global warming stuff that we've done in the past that's affecting the future. Instead of going back and through this complex thing of winding everything back, why not just like blow up the world if that's how you feel? It's like, you know what I mean? It's like the grandfather paradox is, would you be able to kill your granddad and you still be alive? So they're banking on,
It depends on like the movie's rules, right?
Right.
Are we playing by Back to the Future rules or Avengers rules?
Right.
I mean, none of us have ever time traveled before, so it's like, how will we ever know?
This is not how it goes.
Yeah. I would have hated to have been the editor of this film.
I forgot her name, the editor for the film, but this is the first Christopher Nolan movie she's worked on, and he basically told her, like, just focus on the story. She's like, I'm trying to. That's
That is so funny. Oh my gosh, the continuity professionals on that film are geniuses.
Probably on
It's like,
Suicide
wait, you know, I know. It was strange just being in a theater again.
Yeah.
And I am definitely, if I go to see more movies, I'm definitely not going to them where you're eating. If I want to go to a movie right now while the pandemic is still going on, I'll sit there with my mask on and relax and enjoy the movie. But then when you're sitting down and you have dinner and drinks and you're choking on that, like, you know, meatball and your spaghetti, you know, eating a whole freaking pasta or pizza, and you're just inhaling the herbs, you know, right on your little margarita pizza. And it's just like, I don't like this. I should have gone to one where it's just popcorn and a beer or something like that. Is there anything else y'all think we need to cover about the movie? Is there any more action scenes that we haven't talked about?
Well, there's that kitchen fight scene where he cuts a guy up with the cheese grater.
That's pretty cool. Next fight I get in, I'm going to have a cheese grater on me. I had a Tenet kind of dream last night, actually.
Really?
It was so weird. I was like running away from somebody, hopping through the bushes, and someone was driving their car down, and I was like, pop, 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 shooting at it. And then when I went back up the hill, someone was like going on a motorcycle backwards.
That's awesome.
I'd say it's a really good movie, but it was a phenomenal experience. There's a reason I haven't watched Interstellar on TV or on Netflix since I saw it in theaters. It's not going to be the same experience.
Yeah.
And I think this movie is going to be very similar. It'll be fun to watch at home and be able to rewind scenes and be like, I want to see who's actually reversed in the scene and who's not.
Yeah.
You know, or, I really don't understand. I'm going to put the subtitles on. Can't wait to watch the movie with the subtitles.
Yes. So yeah, that was our review for Tenet. Now, before we go, if you'd like to indulge me for a few moments of your time, where did I put it? Yeah, here we go. I did a ranking of all 11 Christopher Nolan movies. Keep in mind, I love all his films. For me, there's not a bad film on his list.
I almost want to see him go back and make a very small movie.
Yeah, that's what I like to see too. Number 10 is The Dark Knight Rises, which I remember blowing my load over like the first time I saw it. It still would have been cool to see like, the Riddler in that universe, which would have been
Now we're going to get the Riddler anyway.
No. What's funny about that is that with the new Batman coming out, I was like, this is the movie I wanted to see, with the Riddler playing off like the Seven type.
2 years ago, I told a friend, they're going to make another Batman movie. He's like, oh, cool. Who's going to be in it? I was like, I don't know, but like, you know what they should do? They should do it with the Riddler, and they should do it like Seven, where Batman's like a detective trying to track down the Riddler as a serial killer. And then 2 years go by. I didn't hear anything about it. I just heard they're making a Batman movie. And then the trailer comes out, and I was like, is Warner Bros. Listening to me? Like, where's my check, Warner Bros.?
Number 5 is Interstellar, which was the last 70 millimeter movie I saw at the IMAX theater before it went all digital. They even had like a video of like the guy, a time-lapse video of him wrapping around the entire film, which is like almost 3 hours.
You remember when we dropped one?
Oh God, I don't think I was there.
That's nightmare fuel, dude. I don't remember what it was. I was carrying it with someone in the we were getting it on the plate, and they're big, they're huge cans, and it is a 2-person job.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. It's dark in there, and you like bang and clank a thing, and then it just like slipped out of the bottom, and I was just like holding it like, what do we do? What do we do? And our manager, she was like, I can't get it. And we just we're not showing that movie, I guess.
But yeah, I remember that anxiety of like, because it's just one hallway, like going from theater 1 to like theater 9 on the other end, carrying this big ass movie, hoping that you don't drop it. And I'm looking at the projectionist that we had at the time. He's just sweating his ass off.
Oh,
his eyes bugging out like, oh God. I'm like, we're almost there, buddy. Don't. Number 4 is The Prestige.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good placement too.
One of my favorite memories of it was doing a double billing with Aragon. We were living in Germany at the time, and you got the idea of like, let's go see Aragon. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. And we all turned on you. We were like, dude.
Yeah, they were such jerks. I'm like, I didn't even read these books. And like my younger sister had. And I'm like, I was not the only person who was excited to see this, by the way.
Sounds like you were.
Number 3, Inception.
I remember seeing that with you, dude.
Yeah.
The night that we had our special screening. We were all like freaking out because it was just the staff, right?
No. The first time I saw it was in IMAX.
No. Oh, you weren't there.
No,
okay, hold on.
there.
When did you start working at the theater?
I worked there in 2008, so nobody invited me to those screenings.
You're kidding me.
I'm pretty sure they might have.
I remember.
I wanted to go see it for the first time in IMAX.
In IMAX. That's probably what it was, because we saw in our own theater a special screening for the staff, and everyone was talking about this movie. And it did not disappoint. We were all flipping out. It was like watching The Matrix for the first time again.
So good, it caused someone to have an epileptic fit.
Oh, really? Oh, no.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Like, it was nuts. And I felt so bad because we were like, is this guy laughing? Like, what?
Oh, no.
And
yeah.
I felt bad mostly because I'm like, bro, I'm missing what I feel like is a very important part of the story.
Oh, man. So was he.
Focusing, and I'm like, oh, man, I feel so bad, but I don't know what to do. Like, he was
Someone helped him out?
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, number 1 is Memento, which feels different every time you put it on.
You know, it's funny. Anytime I talk to somebody about, like, you know, if Christopher Nolan comes up in a movie conversation, like you sit down and what are your favorite movies, and someone's like, I always bring it back to Memento. I know, what's that? I was like, you know, the guy that made The Dark Knight and Inception and Interstellar and all that. They're like, oh yeah, no, those movies. I was like, you gotta watch Memento. That's where, like, not where it all started, but it is like, that is the quintessential Christopher Nolan movie.
I don't know if it's like off now or what.
It's still blinking, right? How many minutes we got left?
Probably like 10 seconds.
I can't read it. My glasses
Just
on.
see how it's blinking faster now, so I think like it's about to go off.
Okay, I think we got everything we needed to say, right?
Sounds like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we covered it. Well,
Although this ending will probably be in reverse anyways.
oh really? Hiller Rock.
Så jag ser lite varför minutes.
Sulla me doom si ba push my own sush the fuck push my zoom with the one voice I'm said that I might then I get what I my sister wear with a vibe and eat it I guys is there eat with the lives you know you shouldn't lie nick I've seen if this your shama gawa and it's on the list you